Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. I'm just going to dive into Cardano once again. Thank you for support. So right now Cardano is coiling up, isn't it, in some kind of horizontal. You've broken out of this falling wedge, which is actually very bullish. So for me, these are continuation patterns. Primarily, they do continue with a trend in which you fell into them, but they can reverse. And for me, potentially you might get a reversal here because, and it is a potential, because you've broken out of a key level resistance, this falling wedge, and you've created this horizontal. So you fell back into the support of the falling wedge, and right now you're creating another horizontal and you're coming close to the apex of a horizontal. So you've got some kind of break here that's coming for Cardano, because it's got quite boring, isn't it? It's just consolidating in a range basically. So for me, potentially you could break this low resistance here. You can see that you've been wicking into the daily 20 for the past couple of days. So if this does start to come down like this and you start to hit your head, this one can force you down to this particular level of support right here. Now if you do start to lose that, I would technically put some cheeky bids on this swing low, because I do think that's where you find a level of support. Now obviously if you start to roll over any deeper than that, I do think you'll come down for this retest of this low just there, okay, at around about $1.80, $1.90. Now if that was to roll over from here and continue, that would actually be quite a bit of a correction of around about 11%. It's not unheard of, did it here, come up, did it here, come up, this is what it does. So you've definitely got some kind of break happening relatively soon here for Cardano moving forward. Now the last time that we sort of rolled over here and created a death cross, I'll show you this, okay? So we rolled over just here in this previous correction, just here, and you can see what we did. We created a very in-out sort of death cross, and we put in a beautiful W bottom pattern. So look, we came up, we started to rally, we created this like rising wedge just there. Look, do you see that? And when we fell out of the wedge, what do? We come down and we touch the bottom of the wedge. Do you see that? But in doing so, we created a death cross, basically a sell and go to the beat signal just there. We lowered out, created a beautiful W bottom, and instantly we came back up and we was gone. Basically got back above DMAs and we broke out basically. So this is, when is this? This is October. This is like literally where we are now. Okay, we rolled down, we had a correction, created a beautiful W bottom, and then we broke out towards the end of October into November. So is it a very rinse repeat pattern here? Are we looking at this particular rinse repeat pattern where we've got this in out sort of death cross right now, and we come down to a low out, and then we break out? So please watch this space, keep an eye on Cardano. Some kind of break is very, very imminent. I do think that we're coming to some kind of apex, potentially coming down. If we do start to lose this support just there, have a little wick down, I've shown you before where it happens, come October time, put in a beautiful W bottom, get back above these EMAs, because this is what you want to see. You want to see Cardano back above these EMAs, especially this yellow line, okay, on the daily time frame. You get back above that and hold it. This, my friend, is continuation pattern. It's basically an uptrend. Look, you did it here. Look, you got back above, held the buy and go to the beat signal just there. You're coming up like this, and potentially even if you was to roll down and put another retest of this low, you can see that you're putting a low there, a high there, and a low there, and it's still higher lows. Look, and you're basically coming up like this. Do you see that? So you're still really, really bullish for continuation, and a correction, if it does come, with just a shaking out of the weekends. It happens. It's what happens. It's flash crashes. It happens multiple times in these projects. So yeah, there is definitely some kind of decision, some kind of break which is coming for Cardano. So again, a primary level of support obviously is this swing low just there. I think that will come into play. You'll see a bounce there, and obviously I do think that could be your last low if it was to dip here for Cardano. That would be a massive level of support right there, and potentially if you was to, it's all about if you lose this support, okay, this trend line, you can see you're holding it really, really well. Now if this EMA is coming down on you, they force the break, okay, equally you break that resistance up here, come back above the EMAs here, and you've broken out here in this apex. Do you understand that? But what I'm showing you, which most technical analysts don't show you, is a key level support, an area to put bids in. So for me, if you do start to roll out of this key level support right there, put some cheeky bids down there, and I do think that that's where you'll get a little bit of a bounce, okay. Worst case scenario, it loses that low, we go for a whopping correction, and that's another area that I do think will hold, because you can see it's just there, okay, and you've come up, you've had your wick down already, and you start to build up, okay. But on the weekly, if we take a look, you can see where the 20 is coming up to, this particular level here, and I do think if we can get another little retest off this 20, that would be absolutely golden moving forward. So yeah, keep an eye on this, keep an eye on Cardano. Obviously it's that why you're watching the video, but if we do start to lose this support of this apex, I would just put some cheeky bids down here, and I did say this to you, around about $1.99, $2. Look at that, boom, beautiful. And I think that would be the last dip, and can start to take off at that point. Just one last little shakeout. But again, it could just break out here, you know, because this is how bullish the market is at the moment. Bitcoin's sort of front running, and then when Bitcoin slows down, you know, Cardano has its little pickup. But this is quite a negative pattern, to be honest with you. This horizontal is a continuation pattern. You come down into it, you've got the EMAs coming down on your head, so you can't ignore that fact. So, you know, you have got some kind of break that is imminent, you know, coming in like that. This particular signal just there, level of support, level of resistance, you've definitely got some kind of break over the next few days, okay? Leading into next week, there will be a sort of kind of decision here. Will we flash crash down to this level of support, which would be amazing? Let's get some cheeky little bids in for the continuation. And essentially, you know, you could look at it as just higher lows again. You know, you've come up like this, you've rolled over to there, it's still a higher low than this, so you are still relatively bullish for continuation once you get that level of support moving forward. Or, you know, am I being too bearish there? Are we got this level of support and resistance, and are we coming to some kind of apex just here, and we get the breakout, start to get back above the EMAs? You know, if you do start to get back above the EMAs, the retest of the EMAs could be a fantastic entry point, because look, the last time we sort of broke out, look, we broke out above the EMAs and we fell back into support. There's your entry point, and right there we've just been a little bit bullish, and what we're doing is coiling up for the next level of, you know, the breakout moving forward. So I want to reassure you, even if it does correct and it does roll out of this support just there, it is still really, really bullish, okay, for Cardano moving forward. And I do expect that all our technical targets to the upside will actually get met. So that's basically Cardano. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye bye.